Hello and welcome to another episode of Japanese Anime Mania, or JAM. So, a long time ago, I started reading this series, Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. Now, when I started reading it, I was like, this is really creepy and just crazy. It's just like all the murder and blood and violence and gore, and I was just like, I need to know what's going to happen. And so I was just like, alright, I gotta buy more. So every time that a volume came out, I immediately bought it. Didn't care about the price. I was just like, I want to read it. And I found out there was a video game of it. But of course it wasn't licensed here in America, but I was like, oh, I need this now. Again, I couldn't fuel my addiction fast enough because this show was just really, really good. As well as the manga. I was just like, I just gotta read this. I gotta know more. So, like I said, today we will be reviewing Higurashi, or better known in America as When They Cry. Let's go! Higurashi takes place in the fictional town of Hinamizawa in the year of June 1983, during the Cotton Drifting Festival. We follow our characters as they go about their just regular lives, enjoying their summer, when suddenly, on the night of the cotton drifting, someone dies. And then from there, mysterious happenings keep going on. More and more murders keep happening. Can the main characters figure out who's killing everybody before it's too late? Or will we simply move on to another arc, to another time? For the story portion of it, like I just mentioned, each arc is different. And that's what really captivated me. Because I'd be reading the book and it'd be like, alright, what's going on? But then going on from there, I was like, whoa! Okay, different storyline. Because the murder takes place with different people each time. So, you're trying to figure out who's going to kill who, or who's going to go crazy in each scenario. So you're going from there, you're like, alright, I think it's going to be you this time. And then you're wrong. You're like, what did I miss? And what I liked in the manga as well, was that it gave you tips on how to figure it out. Now, tips were also given in the game, and that's what I also like. It's just like, alright, gotta pause, let me write down some notes here, I'm going to be a cool detective and figure out this mystery before the game or the story tells me about it. The show does the same way. So, for character-wise, let's go over the list. We have, number 1, Kiichi Maebara. Now, sure, the show revolves around the whole village of Hinamizawa, but he's our main focal point right here, because the story is seen more just through his eyes as he experiences the new village. He has just recently moved to Hinamizawa, and he's just like, alright, I'm a city boy, I'm in a country town, I'm just like, I don't understand what's so cool about this festival. Well, he eventually becomes friends with every other person in the school, and he's like, alright, I can live this life, and I enjoy everything. I enjoy the simplistic side of life. Next, we have Rena Ryuga, who is Kiichi's neighbor, friend, love interest. Rena, just like Kiichi, has moved in just kind of recently, and is trying to accustom to regular simplistic life. And again, like I said, each story arc revolves around a different character. So like in the first story arc, we have Kiichi just moving into town and trying to get used to everyone else, and again, evolving other characters. I can't spoil anything right now. But then, the second arc, we revolve around some other characters. The third arc, we revolve around another one. There we go. Our third character is Satoko. Satoko is a little mischievous little brat. But again, she's endearing, she sets up traps, she's really funny, and again, the trap setting becomes a very important plot element later on. Number 4 is Rika. Rika is a character who's just, everyone just assumes that she's the cute little girl, and Satoko and her are best friends. They always go everywhere with each other, and again, later on revealed in the story, we'll find out what really makes Rika different from everybody else. Our last characters, which I mean characters, so it'll be 5 and 6, just because they're twins. Mion and Shion. Yes, watching the show, I had to constantly remember, alright, you're Mion and you're Shion. But going from there, you can try to go through the stories like, oh, that's really cool, and just try to figure out who's who, who's doing what, who's being where, and again, it's just, I can't contain my excitement about this show. For the animation and sound, as I just said, it is extremely violent. Like, it's just like, oh, like, it makes my stomach turn to see some of these characters go through the torture scenes and whatnot. It's just like, okay, moving on, please. It's hard to see this. But like I said, a different story arc revolves around different people. So every time that happens, I was just like, oh, please stop, not you again, please! And it just keeps going on and on. Yes, as you've probably seen or heard before, the animation for Higurashi is kind of not up to par. It's kind of really bad in some sequences. It's just like, how did this pass off as a good show? It's just like, I wish it was better. When it does do well, such as, like I said, some of the action sequences and unfortunately the torture scenes are really well done. And it's pretty much just like watching Hostel. If you haven't watched the Eli Roth film, just think of that in some sequences, because it's just like, ow, that really sucks. Music. This is where the show shines. As I said in the last review with Boogie Pop Phantom, the music in Higurashi is just so unsettling and creepy. I was listening to the soundtrack in my room, alone, at night, with all the lights off, and I kind of had a little panic attack because just some of it was just like, like I could not move an inch. I was so terrified. When a soundtrack is able to do that to you and you're not even watching the show, that's when you know the music is just above and beyond the Call of Duty, because this show had the best horror soundtrack that I could ever imagine. For the final verdict, okay, before I give my final verdict, let me just say this. There are 2 seasons to this show. But the thing is though is that in the past, there was Higurashi no Naku ni, and then Higurashi no Naku ni Kai. Now the first part was what was pretty much known as the question arcs. We got to see all the murders and everything else, but the answer was never explained or given to the audience. But with Kai, each arc is then revealed and just parallel to each other, and you get to find out what happened behind the scenes within the first season. So, in the past, it sucked because they never licensed or brought over Kai. So, back in the day, when we watched it, it's just like, that's cool! Next season! You couldn't find it. It was never around, and you had to go for fan subs because it was never licensed here in America. But fear not, for with this upcoming announcement, I will say to buy it, because the show is licensed by Sentai Filmworks. They're going to re-release seasons 1 and 2 in America. And I'm like, yes! I love it! Granted, like I said, some of the animation is kind of bleh, but I can pass that up with both seasons being available now. As of right now, as I just said, it is licensed by Sentai Filmworks, and it is streamable as of right now on kissanime.com. For alternate recommendations, I'm going to say the Higurashi game series. And also, just so you know, it's now on Steam! So go ahead and download that. It's really cheap and it's really fun to play. They're releasing them episodically, so you can go off from there. And as I said, the game is a lot different from the show because you get to get more elements, and it's a sound novel. So you get a lot more entertainment value out of it, in my opinion. For alternate recommendations, I would have to go with Shiki. Just again, because we deal with the whole murder epidemic, and we're just like, again, the atmosphere, the artwork, the gore, the violence, it all fits together in Shiki as well. Shiki is licensed by Funimation. I do believe it is streamable on their website, and if not, it is on kissanime.com. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and happy Halloween!